Good morning. January 2nd, 2022. Wow. Happy New Year and happy you. Thanks for being here, everybody. This is the Center for Spiritual Living, Red Deer, Alberta, Canada. And I know there are people watching from all over. So, we have a few announcements. There may be a bingo on January the 12th, and if you wish to support us and help with the bingo, you can contact Juliet, and her phone number is 403-358-0098. Juliet, 403-358-0098. Now we have our Growing Spirits Circle, and that's our children. And we have a word for today, determination. And are there any children interested in telling us about determination? Okay, camera Russ man. Determination, can you tell me?
It means following your dreams.
Yes. And do you have any dreams you're following? Do you want to share for the other people watching, even the young children?
Yes.
And your dream is?
To be a ballet.
Wow. Does that mean we can come and watch you when you're up dancing on stage?
Yes.
Okay, I think that deserves an applause. Thank you. Now you may be seated with your mom. And our beautiful ballerina was also handing out the programs for this morning. So we already got to see her and her mermaid hat. Thank you so much, Haley. So we do have an affirmation if you'd like to repeat with me. I'll read it first and then I will say it. I set goals and keep going until I achieve them. So if you repeat with me, I set goals and keep going until I achieve them. And now you'll notice we have brand new affirmations for January. Our opening affirmation is, today all things are made new. I choose to release old beliefs that have limited my experience of good. I know myself as unlimited possibility, ready to express life with greater joy, greater love, and greater creativity. I accept that all is good, all is available to me, and so it is. And now I would like to open with a small meditation. If you just close your eyes and be right here, right now, and just feel the divine energy. I know that within me is an incredible, unlimited universal mind expressing in all that I do, and I know this is truth for each one here. For we are all one with the divine. And as 2022 approached. Thank you for the correction. And you're right, it approached. That we feel the power, the joy, the love, and the honor of being right here, right now, alive, to be the very best we can be. And together we say, and so it is. And now I have an honor to introduce Reverend Judy Andersen. She will be speaking on living everyday wonder and the magic of beginning. Reverend Judy, come on down.
There we go. Thank you, Reverend Travis, and thank you for that opening treatment. The magic of beginnings. Anybody had that experience where you've had something really marvelous develop, that it came together so well that it was like magic? But how did that get started? It was a beginning. That's what this whole morning is about, really, is about beginnings. It might be a beginning of a new way of eating, a new way of working, a new way of reading, a new way of studying. But every time you take a step, it's a beginning of something. Pardon me. Oh, I knew I was going to do that. I'll just grab a tissue. I felt the beginning of that sneeze come upon me. But as usual, I've got a couple affirmations, or not affirmation, quotations I'd like to share with you. And one of them I posted on Facebook sometime earlier in the week, I think, and it's by Meister Eckhart, who lived, I think it was in the 15 or 1600s. But he said, and suddenly you know it's time to start something new and trust the magic of beginnings. That's where the title came from, because I thought that sounded so nice, the magic of beginnings. So today we're going to be thinking a little bit about what today might be the beginning of. And we're not, our burning bowl ceremony is about our intentions, not about goals and not about resolutions, a more gentle thing, setting an intention. And I'll tell you a little story about myself. On Wednesday, we had our real Christmas dinner with Norris's son, David, and he originally had expected up to 10 people. We wound up only being 6 of us, and a 20-pound turkey. So guess what? Lots left over. And his mother wasn't with us this time, so I said, can I have the carcass this time? And he said, oh yes, I just want to get rid of it. So I went home with the carcass of a 20-pound turkey, and he had stripped most of the meat off of it. And I had an intention. I had in mind that I wanted to make a turkey pie like my mother used to make, and like I've made fairly often. And it comes from boiling the carcass, boiling the bones, and creating soup to start with, and a little bit of onion, a little bit of sage, or whatever I want to put into it, a little bit of celery, a little bit of this or that. And then creating a gravy out of some of that. I mean, I've got enough soup to last for 2 weeks at least. But taking some of the gravy and all of these little bits and pieces that come off of the carcass and getting them into a baking dish and heating it in the microwave and thickening it. And this all takes time, right? And I'd forgotten, I haven't done this for a few years, and I'd forgotten it's a lot of work. It's a lot of time on one's feet, this entire process. But I started with the intention, and it took me until, well, I guess I boiled up the carcass on Thursday and thought about it on Friday. And yesterday, I started actually commencing. I got started on actually creating this turkey pie. So the broth and the bits of chicken are all together. You get them thickened, and that's one process. And well, I had a timeline here. So, and we don't eat until 6:30. So 5:30, get up and get the baking dish into the microwave and get it heated up enough for it to be properly thickened. That's one process. And by 5:45, time to start putting things together to make the baking powder biscuit topping. Well, I haven't done that for quite a while too, so I had to look at a recipe and do this and do that and do that and cut up the butter into the flour, etc., and get that mixed up and pat it out and cut it up and put the bits on top of the gravy and make sure the oven's at the right temperature and get it into the oven and then wait for half an hour and cross my fingers that it'll taste good when it's done. Okay, you see, from intention, you carry out the different steps. And you know what? If I had created the intention and I didn't do it until today or tomorrow, that would have still been all right. The intention was set when I determined that I wanted that carcass, because usually David's mother takes it. And she wasn't there, so I said, I'll do it. And it's been many years since I did it. And it was a fair amount of separate tasks went into the completion, and I did it, and Norris even liked it, which is a big thing. Well, isn't that it when you're cooking for a man? And the dish that I considered delicious because I grew up with it as a part of the whole Christmas process, he didn't grow up with it. Whatever. So that is creating an intention. And then starting with the initial step of carting the carcass home and putting it in the fridge, this great huge pan, and gradually reducing that great big pan of stuff into the elements required for completing the intention. So an intention isn't a demanding thing. It's not a resolution or a goal. I'm going to drop 30 pounds and I'm going to start today. Well, I'm not going to put that in my letter. I'm not going to put that as an intention this year. Last time I did that, I dropped 40 pounds through disease. So I forgot to put in that letter that I release 30 pounds in healthy, loving ways. That might have worked better. Better than cancer, that's for sure. Anyway, intention rather than a resolution or a goal, which sounds so kind of grim and demanding, to me at least. So I'll have to see if I've got anything. Oh, what happens with the intention or a resolution or a goal when we don't immediately start moving toward it? Why don't we start moving toward it? Why? What is the barrier? And this is what we're going to be addressing with the whole burning bowl ceremony. What is keeping me from setting my intention and carrying out the process of the turkey pie? If I hadn't asked for the carcass, would I have had my turkey pie? No. If I hadn't taken it home with me, would I have had it? If I hadn't set about a step at a time the preparation to create it, would I have had my turkey pie, which really was good. But it's, what are the barriers that might have prevented me? I could have had a barrier that, well, I used to make this, but I'm not sure I know how anymore. The last one I made, Norris thought it was mashed potatoes on top, and he mashed the biscuit into the gravy with his fork. Nice light biscuit. So I'm never going to make, you know what I mean? The past experience, past thoughts about it might have come in between to stop me. Thoughts about, well, it's a lot of work, and I'm over 80 now, and I don't know if I want to be on my feet all that time, and blah, blah, blah. The self-talk. Could I have talked myself out of it quite easily? Yes. So the barriers that get in our way, the self-doubt, and you know, the turkey pie is a really minimal intention, and our intentions that we set for the year more likely will be more encompassing, more life-enhancing, more more real than a little temporary intention about a particular meal. But let's say you've got an intention to complete a course of study that you've got to register for and pay for and do the study and write an exam in order to be qualified. What might stand in your way of actually doing that when it's something you might truly desire? Self-judgment. I'm not smart enough. I'm not good enough. I'm too lazy. I'll never have time to get the work done and the reading done and the papers written. I probably will fail it anyway, even if I try. Usually it's self-worth issues that get in our way, that create the barrier to how we want to experience life. So the burning bowl process is designed to try to get through that by deciding what our intentions are for the coming year, and then getting rid of the barriers, the issues that might stand between us and the completion of our intention or the completion of our turkey pie. So we'll simply get on with that. And for those of you who are watching online, I want to tell you, you can be with us in this process. So take the time to get yourself a pen and a piece of paper, or sit down in front of your computer if you prefer, so you can be with us. And when we start working, there'll be 5-6 minutes of silent time, but our technician, Russ Phillips, will fill in with some music. And then I'll be back on for a short time, and then we'll get on with the second portion, where there will again be a little bit of silent time. But join us if you feel like it, if you feel that you can do that. So, Diane Karen has volunteered to act as the issuer of the things we need for this. And the songbooks to write on. And there's pens, right? She's got pens. And what you're going to do with this paper, you've got one in front of you, or you can create this yourself. It says, my intentions for the year 2022. Well, will you give me one so I can read it? And I'll give it back. Here's how I choose to be, how I choose to experience life, how I choose to experience relationships, prosperity, harmony, love of self and others, and more good stuff in 2022. So if you give yourself some kind of a heading like that, if you're watching online, and then write the letter of how you choose to experience 2022. And while you do that, I'm going to do the same thing. So we'll have 5 minutes, 5-6 minutes, and you can finish your letter later if you don't finish it. Oh, the envelope, thank you, yes. You're also going to address an envelope to yourself. And when you have finished your letter, don't seal it until you know you're finished. You're going to seal it and you're going to leave it with us. And sometime around Easter, we'll mail it back to you. And then you can do a recheck on what your intentions had been and how you are doing with it. And you have a chance to kind of revisit your intentions or maybe make adjustments to them for the balance of the year. So with that, Diane, you left me one thank you. Music, Ross, thank you.
Battery 5. Connected to Galaxy Tab S3.
Well, it looks like most of us are about done. And if you haven't quite finished, as I've said, just set it aside until after we do the next part of our ceremony. And Diane, I need your help again. Tucked under a box there are those very fine little pieces of flash paper. Just give one of those to each person here. And here is the magic of beginning. On this paper, you're going to write whatever it might be that you think will stand between you and the completion of your turkey pie, or the emergence of your intention and the results of that intention. If it's self-worth, if it's not good enough, if it's not smart enough, if it's, I'm just too lazy to do that, or my knee hurts, or write those things on that piece of paper. And it doesn't matter if it's very legible, nobody's going to read it. But you have to make the marks on the paper to represent those things so that we can eliminate them. That a little better, Russ? And here is Haley doing her thing with her mom. All right. When you have written okay, Russ, I can't make this one work. Well, I was doing that, but it wasn't working. There you go. Well, just light it for me, thank you. All right. Whenever you've completed writing on your magic paper, bring it up here. And see if the tongs will hold it. And just dip it into the candle flame. All right, Lena, what has happened to those barriers?
They've gone up in flames.
And is there anything left?
Nothing.
Lena, I know that whatever was on that paper is no longer your truth. You are set free to live your intention. Diane has done this many times.
So full of static.
And what has happened to your barriers?
Hopefully they're gone.
They're gone. And I affirm for you that you truly have released whatever has been holding you back from your highest and greatest good. I know that you are able to carry out your intentions, that whatever has blocked you in the past is gone, just as that paper is gone. There's nothing left of it. where have the barriers gone? Have they disappeared? They have, and I affirm for you that this is no more than your truth. Whatever has prevented your carrying out your intentions for your greater good is dissolved. It's gone back to the nothingness from which it came. And so it is. You smothered the flame.
I like it that way.
Russ, I simply can't handle this. The other one, the red one, I was fine with. This one defeats me. Thank you. Reverend Travis, your barriers have gone up in flame. There's nothing left of them. Nothing, no excuses for not carrying out your intentions for a greater good. Okay, oh, that's rough. And I haven't written mine on a piece of paper. Well, I'm going to just take a piece from here and put some imaginary words on them. And my words are lazy and resigned to not doing much anymore, and stuff like that that are preventing me from moving forward and being curious and exploring new things, because I want to live 2022 as though I was just starting out on a new life. Oh. There, my barriers of limiting myself based on age and health have gone up, and you check with me in a few months and make sure that I am carrying out my intention, whether it is making the turkey pie or living a more joyous, fuller, more loving, more adventurous, more active life. I give you permission to ask me if I am living my intention. And with that, I thank you for your participation. And if you haven't sealed up your envelope yet, do it. Make sure you've got your right postal address on it, and just leave them on your chair. We'll collect them at the close of the service. And let's continue now into the closing of our service with our prosperity affirmation. My experience of abundance fills and overflows, washing away any need to hold my good to myself. And so I share and let the good flow freely, knowing that as I give, I am constantly replenished. I count my blessings and live from a grateful heart. Life is good, so am I, and so it is. And of course, our offertory, I saw most of you have come and put your envelopes in the basket already. And you at home, if you choose to share with us, you can mail us a check or hit the donate button on our website, whatever you choose. And if you forget the mailing address, just phone the office and you'll likely get a return phone call from Reverend Travis about that. And thank you for your support wherever you are, because it is only your support that helps keep our doors open and keeps our bills paid. So we'll move on to our closing affirmation. This day, I know that the perfection of spirit is active in my body and in the body of my affairs. I am well, wise, prosperous and joyous. Anything unlike this truth gently falls away from my experience, leaving me free to love my life. And I do, and so it is. Thank you. And a closing treatment now. Joyfully, I recognize the good of this day, the holiness of this day, and the specialness of this day, as we have affirmed to ourselves what our intentions are to live more fully, more joyfully, more lovingly, maybe more prosperously, whatever our intentions are for this year. We have affirmed it. We have been willing to look at the barriers to our good and to release them into the nothingness from which they came. Today is a new day. We're in a new year. We're ready to experience it in a new way. I give loving thanks, knowing it is done, and so it is.